Ladies and gents, welcome back to another video. In front of me here is a package that I got a few months ago, just haven't been around to opening it. Hopefully it's something cool. You'll probably be able to tell from the thumbnail of this video what it is, but I honestly have no idea. It's definitely an iPhone or iPod. It feels pretty heavy, so it might actually be a few different models there. Hopefully something as cool as this iOS 8 iPhone 6. But without any further ado, let's get this thing opened up and see what we have. All right, so it looks like we've got 4 iPhones, and if I remember correctly, these are open box iPhone 4s because they still have the like front and back plastic, even though it looks like it's been taken on and off a few times. This one does not. I don't remember buying this. Let me try to power these on. I'm sure they're gonna need a charge. Okay, iOS 6 or below, 6 or below. Let's see about these two. iOS 6 and below and below. Okay, so we've got 3 that are powering on and 1 that needs power. Let me get that plugged in. This is gonna be very interesting because I don't know. Well, before I even get ahead of myself, here we've got 1 turned on. This looks like iOS 4. And we've got 2 more here. These are both low on battery. I'm gonna plug these in because the dead one's already dead. That's just gonna have to wait a minute regardless. But I don't want these 2 to die. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna charge all of these so we can just have a complete video without it being chopped up from the power going in and out of these iPhones. So once these get charged, we'll be back to talk about some cool iPhones. All right, guys, we are back. The iPhones are charged, and I'm gonna go ahead and lay them out here on the table. We do have one that says connected to iTunes, and that is this one here. So let me get a MacBook and we can do that real quick. All right, here we go. I will adjust that camera for you guys there so you can follow along and see what I'm doing. So we'll go ahead and open up Finder and we'll connect our iPhone. It should be a pretty quick process. It'll show up over here on the left and then it'll activate for about 10 seconds or so. And then we'll see the slide to unlock instead of slide for emergency. Okay, we need a SIM card, so we're gonna circle back to this one here in a minute. We might be able to find a SIM card in one of these that's already active. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start off here with the iPhones that are already turned on. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and remove these screen protectors because they're really not doing any good. So we'll go ahead and peel these off. These were definitely just reapplied after the iPhones had been used, because the screens are dirty underneath. So there we go. In the back, I think same thing. We're gonna take these off as well. They are actually pretty clean underneath. So it's a little bit, I mean, this looks flawless. And check out this down here. It's like the text is missing from that one. And this one is like faded. You can kind of see it there in the light, but then it sort of goes away. I didn't notice that before. This one appears to have the same thing. That is really interesting. I've never seen that before. I mean, the text is there, right? You can see it. And I'm referring to like the EMC numbers down there and the model number. But then it goes away under the regular light. Does this one have that? And it does not. So this one that did not come with that plastic backing does have the normal text that is visible there. So very interesting. Someone leave me a comment down below. What's going on here? Are these replacement backs? It's just kind of strange that all 3 of these have got the same thing going on, or is this some sort of error from the factory? I really don't know, but enough of that. Let's see what happens here with these iPhones. I'll go ahead and slide to unlock them all so we can get the home screen here. And we're only gonna do 3. So these say no service. That means they do have a SIM card. Let me get a little ejector tool so that we can get this last one set up. Lucky enough, I've got my iPhone box here, which does actually have a SIM card tool. They've removed these for quite some time on the modern iPhones, but it is back on my phone. So there we go. This will be our victim here. Oh wait, these are CDMA models. We can't even take that SIM card out. This is a GSM model. Oh, I'm gonna have to find another one. I'll be back again. All right, we've got an AT&T and a Verizon SIM card. So let's see what happens if we connect these. I'm gonna try the AT&T one because that seems a little bit more likely to work for our CDMA iPhone 4 running iOS 4. I think AT&T was the only launch carrier for the iPhone 4. I know later on when they introduced the white model, they did update that, but I believe at launch AT&T was the exclusive carrier of the iPhone 4, just as it had been for all the iPhones prior. So hopefully this activates, and it did. That is really good news. And I'm going to go ahead and scavenge that SIM card back in case I need it for some other fun tricks later on when I get more devices. So now we can officially slide to unlock all 4 of these iPhones. And I'm going to do it in a way I don't think I've ever done before on this channel. So here we go. Nice. All right, so what do we have here? These all appear to be running iOS 4. They all look the same. Let's head into settings and see what we've got. I'll try to give you guys the best view here without showing off the ugly legs of my tripod. So let me go ahead and turn the brightness up so you guys can see better. Boom, boom, boom. Then we'll go into general and about. So this one didn't make it. 4.2.6, 4.2.6, 4.2.6, 4.3.5. These are all 16 gig iPhones, and there is nothing on either of these. So this is pretty cool. These were all sent to me together. I think this is the only time I've opened 4 iPhone 4s all running iOS 4. That is a lot of 4s. These are pretty special devices. And interestingly, I guess that's a difference in the iOS versions because this one is the latest on 4.3.5. Location services has got its own little tab up here, but that's not present on the other ones. Let's see what else is different here between 4. Okay, so here's location services on that one. Are there any other changes that I can see? Maybe in accessibility, there were a lot of changes there early on, and Apple still tweaks that quite a bit. Probably not. I remember back like years ago, there were a bunch of videos showing all the different changes between the iOS versions because there were so many. It was changing so quickly. We really don't get those kind of changes anymore, hardware or software. So probably not too many differences between these versions. But someone has been in here because you can see Shake to Shuffle is turned on there, but it is not turned on here on that iPod, or maybe it was off by default on the newer iOS versions. That's hard to say. But these do all have the little squared off, on-off toggles. That is certainly an iOS 4 feature. In iOS 5, it was changed to the more rounded design that we even have today. So big difference there. Let's see, what else can we talk about? This is kind of overwhelming. We've got 4 iPhone 4s all running iOS 4, and they are in mint condition, except for this one's got an unhappy home button. I am very clearly pressing that, and it is not working at all. So that is a little bit unfortunate. Hopefully that's just kind of like a software glitch, but it seems like we might have a faulty home button here, and I don't think we get assistive touch. I believe that was introduced on iOS 5, so we can't get that little dot that lets us go back. So that is unfortunate. I'm not sure how we're going to make it out of settings, but we'll just leave that one in settings. That'll just sit there. So these are super clean devices. They are all black, as that was the only color that launched early on, at least for the fall release of the iPhone 4. Apple then introduced the white one later on. I forget exactly when that was. I believe that was in the spring of 2011. The iPhone 4 did launch in 2010. This was the last iPhone that Steve Jobs introduced, so very nostalgic because of that. And it was the last keynote that I think he delivered. Certainly the last iPhone. I know Tim Cook did the 4S, but the iPhone 4 holds a special place in my heart, and I'm sure you guys all appreciate this design as it is so iconic. This is really when Apple started to take huge leaps ahead of the competition in terms of their build quality, because the 3G, 3GS, and even the 2G didn't feel that premium, but this thing is very premium. It even feels fantastic today. It's got a very nice weight to it. Feels super firm. I mean, you can't bend this thing at all. It is a super solid, robust design. It's got the beautiful machined aluminum finish here around the sides with the button and the volume rockers. We've got a 5 megapixel lens there. That was an upgrade. LED flash was an upgrade. Front facing camera was an upgrade. We got a retina display, which even today looks fantastic, even though it is a little bit small. And we also got improved performance with Apple's A4 chip. This was the first home-built Apple Silicon CPU GPU combo for an iPhone, and it launched here on the iPhone 4. It was a single core chip clocked at 800 megahertz, and it was ahead of its time. It had 512 megs of RAM, so that is the most of any A4 chip. The iPad first gen, as well as the iPod Touch fourth gen, and even the Apple TV only got 256 megabytes. So that allowed this thing to run iOS 7, which is actually really, really poor on this device. The iPhone 4 does not handle iOS 7 very well. But what I do want to show you guys is the video and the microphone quality. So I'm going to go ahead and launch a video here, and we're going to switch over to that right now. So here we are on the iPhone 4. I'm sure the audio sounds a bit different, and I'm sure this looks pretty different as well. It certainly looks pretty bad from my point of view. The colors are pretty bad, and the contrast kind of seems to be all over the place. And I think I did tap to focus, which is going to throw off the rest of this. But there you can see the iPhone 6 down here, and I can show you guys the other iPhones that we've got, the other iPhone 4s. And the camera quality is not very good here. It was certainly better than the iPhone 3GS, but it really wasn't until the 4S and the iPhone 5 that we got huge leaps ahead in the camera quality for the iPhones. So hopefully I can get this exported to my MacBook. Usually I have to use an older version of macOS to get this to work. So we'll go ahead and switch back here. And there you guys have it back to, wow, okay. There you guys have it back to 4K resolution. And for your viewing pleasure, I will not record the entire video on an iPhone 4, but I have actually done a few videos like that where I use an old iPhone and I just record the entire video that way. I haven't done that in a while because I feel like it's not fair to you guys, and it's not fair to these devices to not show them off in their very best form. So that's why I use my main iPhone to record 4K 60 HDR. Still working on uploading in HDR. For some reason, my Final Cut Pro library does not export in HDR, and I can't seem to get that changed. But I'm going to try to mess around with that, and hopefully I can get that figured out. But before we go, let's take a look at those iOS 4 wallpapers. These are some true classics here. Very, very simple wallpapers, and they all look fantastic, especially on our Retina display here with the iPhone 4. So that's going to do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed taking a look here at 4 vintage iPhone 4s, all running iOS 4. They do have that interesting thing going on here with the back and the lettering print. Still not sure what is up with that. Never seen that before, but hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave me some comments down below if you still have an iPhone 4 and what iOS version it is running. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I look forward to seeing you in another one of my videos.